right, thank you once again for joining us again on TVC Breakfast. Let's move on now, talking education. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has disclosed what the federal government must urgently do in order to end the lingering industrial action.
Now, the national president of ASUU, Professor Abiodun Ogunyemi, said the strike will be called off or suspended as soon as the federal government meets its renewed demands. Professor Ogunyemi said ASUU rejected federal government's offer because the amount was too low. Now, according to him, the union has bent backwards in the interest of students and the Nigerian society and come up with a new but downsized demand that will be conveyed to the federal government today.
Well, let's hear from Professor Ogunyemi himself. He joins us live from Abuja. Good morning, Professor Ogunyemi. Okay, talks to resume today or as soon as possible now. The government says it has paid more than 15 billion naira to offset the demands, at least to partially offset the demands of ASUU. ASUU says it's too low. Tell us more on this.
Well, good morning, the House, and good morning, Nigerians. The 15 billion you mentioned has to do with shortfall in salaries that have been withheld for some time for some universities. That one is a matter of what you remove from people's salaries and you want to pay them. It's nothing to be negotiated. The areas that involve payment on which we are actually talking in two areas. One, the issue of revitalization. Revitalization fund came out of assessment of public universities in order to address the rot and decay that have been documented. 5 tranches were outstanding from 2013. In 2013, between 2013 and 17, government released 1 tranche of 200 billion out of a total of 1.5 trillion. Sorry, 1.3 trillion. So we had a total of 1.1 trillion outstanding, spread over 5 tranches. So ASUU is saying that government should at least release 1 tranche of 220 billion. Although government claims to have released 20 billion, which came out of our Memorandum of Action of 2017, if we have 200 billion left to make 1 tranche, ASUU is saying that government should release at least 50 billion immediately, and the balance of 150 billion could be spread over the next 3 quarters. That is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarters of this year. We don't think that is too much. But for government to say they will give 20 billion, that will be staggered over 2 installments in 2nd and 3rd installments. Over 2nd and 3rd quarters of this year. Our members said that is not acceptable to them. So we have documented the reactions of our members on that, and they are getting that this morning, as you said. The other area that requires payment is the issue of end academic allowances. The report of forensic audit of federal government has documented the balance that our members are owed. So what we told government is that, well, you say you are paying this amount and that the balance will be paid in 4 installments. But what they sent to us has no timeline attached to paying the balance that they have themselves determined. So if you say you pay the balance in 4 installments, our members are asking, how will the payment be distributed? And what is the timeline for paying the balance? So these are questions that we expect government to answer by the time they get our reaction.
Okay.
But in addition to that, this issue of EAA, we think we should put a stop to it by mainstreaming it into the budget Government promised to do that in 2017, so that by 2018 we will not be talking of arrears. But government did not do it. And that is why we are still talking of arrears of 2018. So what we are conveying to government now is, let us see the evidence of mainstreaming it into the 2019 budget, so that our members will not have to come out again in 2020 to be talking of arrears of 2019.
Okay. Professor, so let's put you on hold. We'll come back to you, but let's listen to Nigerians, what they have to say on the lingering ASUU strike.
The federal government should consider, if not because of the lecturers, but because of the students.
I think the earlier the federal government listen to them and let the children go back to their school.
If they are talking about those people affected most about this strike, I think we are the most affected. Because whatever we have left undone now, we will do it when we resume. That means we'll have to carry excess load.
This strike is affecting everybody, students, parents, lecturers. Lecturers want to actually come to school and work. So I think the government should resolve this so that everybody will come back to work.
The federal government, their unwillingness to pay some of these demands, or give in to some of the demands the ASUU, the union itself, are requesting for, and the union itself are also bent on getting them before they go back to work. But who suffers it? The students, Nigerian students suffer it.
Education industry needs to be overhauled. You understand? How long are we going to continue with this back and forth system? ASUU on strike, tomorrow they call us strike, and you look at it that they still come back to the same demand. The same demand, the same point, then that means we are not moving forward.
Their demands ought to be met if the federal government has the paramount interest of the students at heart. They should be able to meet the demand of ASUU.
They have to come to a consensus or a common ground with each other. So at the end of the day, this thing won't keep repeating itself.
Okay, we still have Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, the president of ASUU, with us from Abuja. Now, Professor, can you confirm that the 15.4 billion naira the government said for salaries and shortfall has been paid to ASUU?
No, we've not confirmed that. But what they told us that will be paid latest by 18th of January, which is coming Friday, 2 days' time.
All right, the government is saying we don't have all the monies to pay, especially one of the tranches. You say they should pay at least a tranche, which amounts to about 220 billion naira. Government is saying they don't have that money to pay right now. So where does this leave us?
We are also saying that government can at least release 50 billion as a sign of commitment, and they can spread the balance over the next 3 quarters. That is not too much, actually, because if government sees education as priority, it should be addressed as a matter that calls for emergency. There is a way by which they mobilize funds to bail out banks. I mean, we are all living witnesses to what happened to Polaris Bank. Overnight, a sum of 800 billion was mobilized, and the bank was rescued. Public education in Nigeria, particularly university education, is going under, and it calls for an emergency intervention. Government has proposed some other sources of funding. We have made input into other sources of funding. Government agrees with us that they have to increase budgetary allocation, raise it to at least 15%, and introduce some other education tax sources. We have agreed on that, and they said they are working on those ones.
All right.
But if they release 50 billion now, they can mobilize from these other sources before the end of the year, and we hit the one tranche target that we are calling for.
Professor Ogunyemi, let's also have your thoughts now. Even as the strike since started early November, there are reports of some universities probably cutting out, not joining the strike anymore if it lingers beyond now. What's your reaction to this?
Well, in any situation, there will always be internal disagreements. But what we have on ground is not enough to threaten our cause. If some of our members that have disagreements with our action, they cannot deny the fact that what we are asking for will benefit them and will be in the overall interest of the system and the country. So what they are only talking about is some of the issues they have with the leadership. But these are matters that can be handled within the framework of conflict resolution, and we are handling them. So if you talk about 1, 2, 3 universities out of 67, I think on the balance, we are on course.
All right, Professor, so you're saying that students have no choice, they have to wait until the federal government meets your demand?
We are getting some feelers from government quarters that they are taking action, and we hope their actions will translate into concrete results. So it's a matter of discussion. I think ASUU has bent backward sufficiently in the interest of our students, their parents, and indeed the Nigerian nation. We are also patriots, we are parents. Our children are there. 2 of my children are at home with me. So people should not just say Nigerian children or Nigerian parents. Many ASUU members are parents, and they also have children in public universities.
Okay.
All right.
So it is all in the interest of Nigeria.
All right. Thank you, Professor. We have to leave you here now. Thank you, Professor Biodun Ogunyemi, President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, for talking to us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, interesting discussions all day. We hope that this next meeting now, the ASUU FG meeting, will indeed be the end and students can return to school. We appreciate your time with us all day today, of course, for TVC Breakfast.